Yeah.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hacktoberfest.
I actually don't have a Hacktoberfest shirt, so I'm.
You don't? Oh, you
No,
got
I
the
keep
American
forgetting
Munch
to order them.
Yeah, they're on the store. And of course, Fives is organized as Azure. I'd have the link and I can put it right in there, but I don't have it right now. It's Teespring or WikiTree.teespring or something like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll find it.
Okay. Yes, but yes, we do have Hacktoberfest shirts. Now this one was for the very first one, 2022. So that means 2022, 2023, 2024. This is the third year in a row we've done Hacktoberfest. Yes. So that's very exciting. So I am just a lowly WikiTree app developer, but we have with us Jamie, part of the WikiTree team. And what's your official title? Technical coordinator? Or no?
It's the community technology assistant, I think. Like that.
Yeah, so
they're not really official titles, they're just there.
That's okay.
Like the WikiTree elf or something.
That's right. Yeah, there's some very limited ones like that. Yeah, that's great. So hopefully we're doing the Hacktoberfest live streams every Thursday during Hacktober, starting at 1 o'clock. Unless there's something comes up. So for example, if I have to play for a funeral, then we might have to adjust the time or someone else will host it. But anyways, plan for being here Thursdays at 1 o'clock or watching it after the fact, because of course, all of these videos will be available on YouTube afterwards. So yeah, and we'll be going through what's been happening with Hacktoberfest and what people have been developing and working on. And I'm hoping that I can convince some of our other developers who are mostly camera shy to join us from time to time. Alesh will join us, I think, from time to time as well. So that's the plan. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie for a moment to talk about other things about Hacktoberfest in general, while I cram for what I'm going to show you later.
Yes. So as Greg mentioned, this is the third annual Hacktoberfest. And so Hacktoberfest is like an internet-wide event. It's I think it was started by DigitalOcean. I'll put the link in the chat so you guys.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that, but so in 2022, I was like, hey, we have some open source projects on WikiTree that we're trying to kind of get off the ground. How about we participate? And so we originally, I think our first open source project was called the dynamic tree. And there was really only one thing that it did, and it was just the dynamic tree view. And so we decided, like, hey, maybe people can add other different types of tree views to this app. And so now people can add, there's a whole bunch of different tree views. Greg has made quite a few of them. So like there's the fan chart, there's the CC7 views table, there's ancestor statistics, just a whole bunch of stuff. I can put a link to that as well. You can get to if you're a WikiTree user, you can see what everyone has done if you go to a profile and click on the Tree Apps tab, and that will send you to where you can view all the different views that people have made. I think this link would take you there. So that was the first one, and then in 2022 there were a whole bunch of different browser extensions that people were making. There was WikiTree, was it AGC, Automatic GEDCOM Cleanup. There was WikiTree B. There was WikiTree Turbo, I think. And then I think there was also WikiTree Plus and maybe WikiTree Tools. there were a few of them. And then plus WikiTree X, which is now, it's been discontinued. And so we're like, well, maybe we can try to make one extension that everyone can work on. And so that's where the very creatively named WikiTree browser extension started. So those are the two projects that we work on during Hacktoberfest. If you are a developer, the code is on GitHub. So there's the link for the dynamic tree or tree apps. And here's the one for browser extension. And I guess you can star stuff maybe. I don't know. I don't really use this program very often. What else? So yeah, so during Hacktoberfest, we try to work on those together. I'm trying to think of what else to say. Yeah. Very interesting host. This is why Greg is here.
No, so for full disclosure, Jamie and I are actually both going to Baltimore because we're both involved with the East Coast Genealogy Conference, which is happening starting tomorrow, and the two of us are basically running the tech portion of that, and we've been very busy, or I've been certainly very busy in the background, and so I've been cramming to get ready for this. So that's why I was just letting Jamie take it all go through. But I think I'll come and rescue you now, Jamie. If you've gone through your script.
Mostly. If anyone has any questions, you could always ask in the WikiTree Discord. There's a Hacktoberfest channel. You could also ask in G2G with the Hacktoberfest tag. Or you can email me at jamie@wikitree.com. I should get back to you pretty quickly, hopefully.
Yeah, that's great. So thanks to Ian. So Ian Bicall is a wonderful developer, and he actually is he has a title too, doesn't he? Like, is he a manager or what's his? Doesn't he?
So for the WikiTree apps project,
yes.
I'm one of the project leaders. Kay is one of the project leaders, and then Ian is our project coordinator.
Project coordinator. Okay. Yeah.
So, and he basically is the main maintainer of the browser extension repository on GitHub. So if you contribute code to there, it's probably Ian that's going to be reviewing it and making sure everything works right. So he's much faster at approving things than I am. So I just kind of let him do that.
Well, the turnaround with the WikiTree browser extension is just amazing.
It really is.
Like someone puts in a random comment in G2G about something that's not quite working or a bug, and it's fixed within hours usually. Like it's wild. I mean, maybe it's a little bit longer, but to me, it seems like it's just within, it's very quick. So,
yeah.
So
usually if something's taking a long time, it's probably because there's some sort of admin thing that needs to be handled. There was like a couple days where we had to give the Apple Store some paperwork.
Oh no.
Stuff. And so that held it up for 5 days or something. And it was it's not Ian's fault.
It's not Ian's fault. No, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, usually any bug fixes or anything. The tree apps takes a little bit longer because that's me reviewing it. So
yeah, but the thing about the difference between the two of them, and I've dipped my toe into the browser extension programming and then pulled it out again. So I haven't made any actual concrete contributions to the browser extension, but from my point of view, the browser extension is so interconnected. It's very finicky, and as a developer, to me, that's a little scary because if I mess something up, it could affect lots of things. Whereas if I mess up one of my tree apps, generally, unless I've done something really bad, the other tree apps can still coexist and work fine, and it's just my own little one that's messed up. So
yeah, there's not too much like risk of really messing something up with the browser extension, because it's sort of like so for both of them, if you create a new feature, you basically make a new folder for that code to live in.
Right.
And so there are some things that could interact, but usually you won't run into too much trouble. And if people are interested in contributing, I wrote some very hopefully simple tutorials recently on how to build your own new feature or for the browser extension or tree app, because a lot of people were just like, I don't know how to get started. So there's a G2G post that links to both of those that was recently put up. And people have already made suggestions, and I know Ian had added stuff to the browser extension one already. Just because like his process is slightly different than mine, because you need, like some people use Git or use different programs to access GitHub.
Right.
People use different programs to write their code. Some people test on different browsers. So there's different ways to do it. So I had just written just a very basic process for one set of those. There's a whole bunch of different ways you could do things.
Yeah, there's certainly lots of different flavors, right?
Yeah.
But generally, because we've actually got it's nice to see how it's grown over in the last 3 years, eh? Like how many we do have a nice batch of developers. It's not just a few of us, so that's kind of nice. I mean, there's always room for more, so that's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And at some point, I'm thinking that some of my standalone apps that aren't in the tree apps but are just on their own, I do need to get them to GitHub as well, so that we can have some additional brains on it, or at least other people who can also manage them or tweak them.
Yeah, that's one thing I still need to do, because like a lot of my apps are very old, like what 2017, maybe 2006, like they're old. And I haven't done much with them for years. And so like I've been slowly trying to move stuff over. So like stats, I moved over last year.
Yeah, it got a nice facelift. That was nice. Yeah. A new feature.
That wasn't even me that did the facelift.
Oh, it wasn't.
Which is great. Like someone else just,
yeah, that's perfect.
Able to work on it and improve it a lot better than what I did. And like I still need to add brick walls to there if it's even needed now, because a lot of apps like do better jobs of what my old apps.
Yeah, well, the brick walls in the CC7 app, for example. Yeah, that's interesting. Cool. Well, speaking of Ian, Ian gave me a couple messages in Discord on things that I might want to mention. And since I haven't done so for myself, my first priority, the first thing I'm going to be working on once this conference is done this weekend and I have some free time again, is I'm working on a special app for a new challenge that's coming up, a mystery challenge that will be added to the WikiTree lists of challenges that you can do. But it's officially going to be released during WikiTree week. So I'm not going to say any more about that right now, but I do need some testers for that. And I've already got some people who have signed up who want to help test it out. And so anyways, that's the app that I'm going to be working on. And then when I get that done, I've got some other improvements for my fan chart and other tree apps that I'm working on. Have you heard what other people are going to be working on in terms of tree apps, Jamie?
So one person's been working on a new app since before Hacktoberfest, and that's about ready to go live.
The Slippy Tree?
Yes, WikiTree. Yeah.
It's just got a great name, but it looks really cool
Yeah,
too.
I need to finish that or getting that in today. Like it was almost ready, but then there was like a missing file, so
Um,
I couldn't push it through. I know one person was interested in working in or doing something with cemeteries.
ooh.
Um, so maybe look out for that.
Hmm.
For myself, I'm supposed to add like a special view to the CC7 Views app to look more like the old Missing Links app, just
Oh,
because we
okay.
kind of want people to stop using that one.
Mm,
And so last month, Steve Harris updated the tree apps so we can now use extra parameters in the
yes.
URL.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
So we can link directly to specific settings on apps, which we couldn't do before. So
Hmm.
I know some people are interested in adding that to the already existing apps as well.
Yeah.
And then there was some interest in people making printable versions of the different views, so they
Hmm.
compiled into like maybe a genealogy book sort of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've heard so far.
Wow. That sounds like a great assortment of things to look forward to. Um, so, but what Ian sent me was things that have happened, actually things that are already there in the WikiTree browser extension, that have just, again, some of them may have started a little bit before October, but they're there now. So I'm going to share my screen, and we can investigate that. And we can investigate that in real time, because I got the message, but I hadn't had much chance to go through it. So we can watch me fumble through and find these features. So let's see. So the first one, he said, here's some things you may want to mention if you have time. So first of all, big thanks to Eric Stamper. So is this the first contribution from Eric, or has he worked with things in a while? I haven't personally worked with Eric myself yet, I don't think.
It might be his first.
Okay. Well, that's very
Not I'm sorry
exciting.
for forgetting. Oh,
Uh,
Eric's in the chat. Hi, Eric.
hey, Eric. Oh, good. We should have invited him to come here, because he would be good to join us live and to show this off. If I'd known you were going to be here, Eric, we would have invited you on stage. So this may be painful for you watching me fumble through this. So I apologize in advance. So one of the things he's added, to make the WikiTree browser extension options better by adding a search filter. So if I click up here, now the problem is, well, part of it is the logo is hiding where I was clicking. So let me get rid of that first of all. Sorry, I'm going to have to hide the logo. There we go. Okay, so up in the location bar up there, you see those tiny little icons, and I can zoom in all I want over on this page. And the regular page gets bigger, but those icons will not get any bigger, which is a really kind of funny thing, I guess. Unless I take a screenshot of it, maybe. And then I can take the screenshot and then show you the screenshot. I don't know how exciting that's going to be for you. Oh, that's not the right one. Where'd it go? Oh, I know what I needed to do. You this way. And then open up. And there we go. So up in the corner, that's what I'm looking at. Oh, and now I've just lost the page. There we go. Okay. So I'm clicking on this little button there, and that'll open up the options for the WikiTree browser extension. Now, do they, no, they don't get bigger or not. Oh, maybe I can. No. But can you see them? sort of. Anyways, up there in the WikiTree browser extension, when you click on that to change the settings, and this is where you turn options on or off, I can hit the search button. There's now a search text field here. So if I search, so one of the features that I like a lot is the ability to show my family members down here. And let me just go up a few levels to get into people past. So it's, there we go. So you see the parents, siblings, and then children down below. So I like that feature, and that's a family list feature. So if I just start typing the word family, then it's going to shorten my list of options so that it only has ones that have the word family in it somewhere, either in the name of the option or in the description. So change family list is exactly the one that I was. So I like vertical family lists with dates, and that's the option there that I had turned on to get this vertical list of things. So if you have a sense of what it is that you're looking for in the settings, this is a great way to just jump right to that. Because taking that off, look at what we have. The settings alone go on forever, just because the WikiTree browser extension is just so amazing. There's just so many things you can do with it. And I haven't gone through them all myself. I feel bad for that. But look at it. Now, the other thing is that each of these main sections also has a menu option up here, or a tab.
So Marie says that there's 80 features.
80 features. Wow.
So yeah, search features definitely.
Yeah.
Necessary.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that you can jump from one area to another, but even some of those areas are massive. Mm-hmm. Right? The profile area alone and the editing area alone are massive. So it's global. Yeah. So that search is very useful. So thank you for that, Eric.
Yes, thank you, Eric.
And now I'm going to zoom out on that screen so I can see 80 features. Oh, Eric's just catching up on the video. So he would have been late joining us. Okay, so next thing. Added a show suggestions feature to show the number of suggestions for a profile on the profile page. Okay, so let me just check to see if I've got that enabled. Show suggestions is enabled, and under options, we can have it automatically load suggestions on every profile without needing to click the suggestion button. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to turn that on. And look at there, creator, Eric Stamper.
Oh, nice.
And if I clicked on that, I could actually load his profile. And he's my cousin. Look at that. Eric's my cousin. 7th cousin once removed. Hey, cousin Eric. That's very cool. Let me reload this profile. I just did a Shift Command R on my Mac to reload, and that will force it to reload and to rebuild things based on the WikiTree browser extension suggestions. So look at there. Now we have a suggestions tab, and apparently there's 2. I have not. Profile completeness. Birth location status is not set, and death locations not set. Okay, well, let's have there's an X. Location status. No, I do know that for sure he was born there. And I know he died in Ontario, but I think I do know the place. Is it not written in his bio? He was buried in Beaverton Cemetery. So I don't know if he died in Beaverton or was just buried in Beaverton. It could have been one of the things. I'm just going to leave that one undone. Well, he definitely died in Ontario, so that's still accurate. So, okay. Confirmed locations. Save. And now, will the suggestions go away, do you think? Or, oh, you know what? I didn't check off the suggestions in the suggestion box thing, right? So I think I probably have to do that here. Yes, change the status. This is not very exciting for you folks. Sorry. Yeah, corrected, and that one corrected too. So now, once I've updated those status, then hopefully now that'll disappear. Okay, let's see what else on the list. And then Jeff Crew, can we say thanks to Jeff Crew? Jeff has added a new feature on B, which is in the WikiTree B preview. So I've got the WikiTree B extension open. And if I click on this settings here, it will show the settings extension. But I'm not sure if this will show the preview one. So I don't think I can show you that offhand. But what I can show you is I can share the screenshots that Ian shared with me. Hopefully. Let's see. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do let's see, save image. Okay, so just hold on a sec. Ian sent me screenshots in case it wouldn't work for me, and turns out it looks like not working for me. So I'm going to just share the screenshots, because this is going to be, if it's in the preview, it means it's not in the full version of the B extension yet. And okay, so let me open up my and okay, so the extension that Jeff has worked on is a way to look at a tree on Ancestry. So all of you who have family trees on Ancestry, and compare it to WikiTree to see if the people are in both. So if people on your ancestry tree already exist on the WikiTree, and if they don't, then it lets you know that they're missing, and so then you can use, say, the WikiTree sourcer extension to create a profile from the ancestry using the ancestry sources and whatnot. So this is actually quite exciting to see how this works. So I only have screenshots to show you right now, so I can't go through and demonstrate the mechanics, and hopefully by this time next week we can actually do a live demo. But so if we start out with Abraham's profile here, if you have the WikiTree B extension when it's set, or the WikiTree B preview, I think right now has this, there's a new box up here that says WikiTree ID, and you click into it, and you can type in directly the WikiTree ID if you know it, or it looks like it tries to find a match, if I'm interpreting this correctly. And it found two possible Abrahams. You see the birth date in the ancestry. Zoom in, there we go. The birth date in the ancestry records is 1813. The two in WikiTree have an 1812 or an 1817 birth date. So it could be one of those two. And we're just off by a year based on records or estimation, maybe. So you would pick one of them. And then let's see what's the difference with match 3 here. What happens here? So then that fills in that field right there. And then when we go to the tree view, all of a sudden now we have WikiTree icons for people that are matches on WikiTree. And this gray one here presumably is one that might be or hasn't been confirmed to be a match, but could possibly be a match on WikiTree. And then others or maybe are missing. Let me see.
Can you zoom in on the screenshot a little bit? So
On this
people,
one here, sure.
yeah, just so people can see.
See, so there's orange WikiTree icons, and those are ones that are confirmed. So there's that Abraham that we confirmed was a match. So this person in the ancestry tree, we confirmed it was the 18th. It was one of the Abrahams that had popped up in WikiTree. And after some work, it looks like there's some others that are confirmed. The solid orange icons indicate that they are matches. I'm not sure if the gray ones are ones that just are possible matches, or are not confirmed.
So Jeff is in the chat, and he said,
"Is Jeff in the chat?"
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And Ian's in the chat too. So
okay, so someone can correct me. What are the gray icons? What do they represent? Go back one and look at the people on the right.
Probably just zoomed in.
Oh, look. Hello. Look at the people on the right. There we go. Or was it this one here? There we go. So it's this.
Can you zoom in on that one so we can see it?
Zoom in. Yeah, there we go. See on the right, the family members there. Some are solid orange and some are gray. Gray is unmatched. Okay, they're just not matched yet. So those are the ones. So then we can either try and match them, or we would need to create profiles, I suppose, right? Would be the process. Okay. And Tommy asks, how is it activated? That's a good question. I'm guessing that when you find the WikiTree ID for the central person, in this case, Abraham, then I'm guessing it's going to check all of his immediate family, his parents and his spouses and siblings and children, and then that would populate the icons here. Yeah. So that's pretty impressive, don't you think?
Yeah. I definitely could see myself using this feature because I do keep a tree on Ancestry.
Yeah.
Mostly because their hint system is pretty good for finding records. And so it's like, oh, new record to add to WikiTree.
Yeah, I actually have a tree on Ancestry as well. And again, it's for me, it's because it's so much quicker to build the sources there and then transport them over to WikiTree. But the other, what's that?
With WikiTree Sourcer.
with WikiTree Sourcer, exactly. That's right,
yeah. I use Ancestry sources a lot more since
then. Yeah.
That came out, because like before it's like you had to scroll down and like try to piece together some sort of citation that sort of made sense with what they gave you.
Yeah. That's right. So yeah. So that's something to look forward to, and hopefully I will have a chance to play with. I just have not had. I apologize, Ian and Jeff and Eric, for not having had time this week to go through and experiment with these the way I should have. But by this time next week, I will, I believe, have a better chance at that.
So Murray had a question. He asked why it's not in WikiTree browser extension. So it might be my fault a little bit. I wasn't sure if we were going to allow features for external sites. So I didn't get confirmation until Tuesday that it's okay.
So it could potentially be.
It could be added to WikiTree browser extension, but that's up to Jeff. So
right. Yeah. For me, the separation of the WikiTree browser extension being things that change the look and feel and functionality on WikiTree itself specifically, and then the Sourcer and B extensions being ones that deal with every other site that interacts with WikiTree, is an easy way for me to keep that separation, and so then I know where to look for things. But I mean, having everything in one place does make a lot of sense. But then the list of options to go on, it'd be 800, not just 80.
Well, hey, we have a search now, so
we have a search. We have a search.
Options there are, because we will.
Oh my! And look at Jeff. So look at Jeff's comment here. He'd also like to support Family Search and maybe MyHeritage.
Yeah,
wow.
that would be very helpful. Murray says that B doesn't work in Safari, so.
Oh, yes.
It was quite a process to get it working, or getting the WikiTree browser extension working in Safari. I think that was one of the main things last year that we worked on around Oktoberfest. And yeah, there was quite an involved process. But including like actual phone calls with people at the App Store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to make sure we weren't scammers. Free.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Ian says it's not yet live in preview. So.
Oh, it's not live in the preview either. Oh, okay. Well then, that's just as well then. I mean, so I couldn't have demoed it anyways then. So it's not my fault. That's good. Is there anything, so I just flipped over to the tree apps. Is there something new here that we want to look at?
I think the only recent things that have been done in the last month were adding parameters, or like extra parameters. I think there was a bug fix for the biocheck stuff that Kay uploaded.
Oh, right. And
then Ian also had a bug fix for the one name trees, I think. But there hasn't been any new apps added yet, except WikiTrees coming very soon.
Right, WikiTree, yeah. Okay, yeah. So one of the things that I would like, I'm thinking about in terms of, and actually this is probably the wrong profile because it's going to, yeah, I don't have anyone past the 6 generations from William.
Also, just wanted to point out Murray's comment that Jonathan Duke was the one that got WikiTree browser extension finally. Like he made it so it skips like half the steps for getting it compiled, so it just like automatically uploads it to the App Store, and then it just has to be approved, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
So streamline that process, because that's not an easy process.
Yeah, so that was great that he did it, and he had to help again recently because I guess some like credentials had expired because it had been a year since we had released it, and so he helped me with that too. So yeah, definitely thanks to Jonathan for that.
Okay, I didn't mean to go here. Oops. Oh, look at, there's a nice loading bar.
Yeah, you can click cancel. So
what can I click?
Cancel if you want it to stop loading.
Cancel. Oh, you mean the button that says cancel. There we go. Okay. Oh, but it already built some trees. Look at that. Okay. I was just going to go back to the fan chart just to show you. So here's on my French Canadian side. And I just noticed that, well, it's not that I just noticed it, but, and when it gets out to the edge here, it's looking a little, the lines get cut off. And even if I turn off the setting for colorizing the repeat ancestors, I still am missing the dividing lines. So I need to tweak that a bit. And I do think, so it only goes up to 10 generations now. I would like to add another one or two more to that if possible. So I have to figure out a way of doing that. And the other thing is that currently the way I've got it programmed is that starting at the inner, you get all the information that you've requested, you've turned on using the settings with the dates and the places and photos and whatnot. But as it goes out, then it starts to abbreviate that and just picks and chooses what it shows. But I'd like to have an option so that you can leave this so it can sort of smartly format it so you've got a relatively compact fan chart, or to expand it so that you have enough room in each cell to show as much information as you at any level. So it will mean that some of these rings will end up having to get wider because to fit all that extra information. But some people like to have all the information, so why not give it to them?
I'm impressed at how filled out your fan chart is.
I am. Well, you know what? This is the thing that when I first switched to WikiTree, and I've told this story many times before, I think, because when I found my birth family, I wanted to start fresh and build a new tree because I'd already built trees for all my adoptive family. I've got the Clarks and the McIsaacs going back to Ireland and Scotland and stuff. So, but all of a sudden, I had a brand fresh one I could start over. And I found WikiTree as the place to do that. But when I got to, and I think it was my Marku, I should have written down exactly which one it was, but I think it was, where is Marku? I think it was this Louis Marku was the great, no, it couldn't have been him because well, it could have been him. I could have adopted him as the profile manager. No, created. Anyways, it was one of the Marcus, maybe his father. Yes. When I connected to him, all of a sudden, I went from just all the people that I had added to boom, I had this entire family just came for free.
Nice.
And the adrenaline rush that ensued was wild to see that, because that goes back to if I go back just one or two more generations, some of these go right back to France.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. So that's why on the French Canadian side I have a nice very full tree, because other people have done all of the work, in the from 1700s back. So I just had to get there, and then it was very fun. That's the power. Yeah. So I don't have anything else to share right now. Anyone in the chat, have any questions for us? Oh, Tommy's question was, what was I looking at? Yes, I was looking at screenshots that Ian had shared with me about features of the extension that Jeff was working on. And so that's all very exciting. Yes, yes, Jeff, we're cousins. I noticed that. That's excellent. Very cool. If you've got some French Canadian blood, then chances are we're cousins, which is very exciting. Any other questions for us? Jamie, anything else you'd like to suggest at this time?
Let me think for a second.
Oh, the show all degrees table. Yes. Thank you, Ian.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was a suggestion in the Hacktoberfest ideas post, right. I believe, which I will post a link.
Okay.
So that. And
is that already already live, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, let's
got it done before the 1st, so it's probably even in the stable version.
So if I click on all degrees table right there, so I'm just I'm on my own profile. I scroll to the bottom. Oh, now what? These used to be in a vertical list. That's interesting. I click on the all degrees table and look at that. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. It's all the theme is Italian profiles this week. And we're gonna, oh, well, you know, with the Source-a-thon going on this weekend, there wouldn't be a live cast. So that's kind of a ripoff, because this would be a great, maybe I'll do these profiles of the week next week anyways. I don't know what the theme for next week's going to be, but look at this. Guy Lombardo, Pasquale, Sophia Loren. Okay. So it looks like 9. Pope Urban and Lucretia Borgia are the closest connected to each other. Very cool. Now the color coding, I guess the color coding is how close, right? The darker it is, the closer they are.
Murray says click on one of them.
Click on one of them, okay. There we go. Just 2 branches separating the 2. Let's try this one. That's a bit further away. And of course you can use your own. So it looks to me like Rudolph Valentino is my closest. 6 branches it goes through. So I guess I'm not a direct cousin of any one of these. And look at the average connection distance too at each. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. Yes. Nice feature. And who was it that added this?
I believe it was Ian.
Was it Ian himself? Yeah.
I know there was some discussion either in the Hacktoberfest Discord channel, or maybe it was the tech chat, or it could have been one of the other WikiTree apps things about the colors. I saw a few people participate in that. But I didn't go back to check to see who it was. So thank you for
thanks Ian for doing that. Good stuff. And to answer Tommy's question, the testing threads have not been set up yet, I don't think. Have they?
No, so no one's mentioned that they needed help with testing anything yet.
Yeah, I'm not ready for my.
I think people should just be able to make a thread themselves if they need help. But if not, let me know and I can create one. Oh, okay. Sorry. I just saw Ian's other comment and I got distracted. But I'll stay on testing for a second. The idea is that in the Hacktoberfest Discord channel, that for each feature that needs to be tested, there'll be a separate thread. Azure says that anyone can create a thread. So yeah, if you have something you want to be tested, you can create a thread under the Hacktoberfest channel for people to go in there and write their comments about testing, just so it kind of keeps things a bit organized. And the cool thing about threads is after a week they disappear. So if there's nothing else left to test, it will just disappear. But it could always be revived if there's something new. And then the other place that people could post if they need testing is in G2G with the Hacktoberfest tag. Those are the 2 places that I sent an email out to everyone that had registered for Hacktoberfest and told them those are the 2 places to check for testing requests.
Excellent. Okay. So the image table, it's funny. You know what? I don't always read these little mini tabs or buttons here. And so my eyes just missed it completely, but it was there. It's right there. Image table. Click on that and it shows all of the images that are uploaded. So I only have 3 of them. 2 of them are basically the same, one without a background. And then I wanted to test this, so I created another little screenshot. But you can show up to 100 of them at a time, which will be useless on this one. But do you have if there's a profile that has lots of images that would be a good candidate, then put that in the chat and I'll load that up. But in the meantime, if I look in my,
I know there's like one profile of maybe it's a space page. I don't know. Does the image table work on space pages?
Well, I'm just checking that now because I've got a free space page that I created for all of my G2G images. Where was it here? Post prep. What did I call it? I thought it was right here. Come on. Testing page, no. No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. Pictures. Image table, it does have it. Okay, so to answer your question, free space pages have it. We have the shaky tree. Do we have to pay royalties every time that tree shakes? Because if we do, someone's going to be very rich. Yeah, so you'll recognize many of the, oh, that's interesting. What happened there? Did I delete an image, I wonder? Huh. You'll recognize some of those from various screenshots in various places. That's interesting that some of that are coming through, but here we have lots. So yeah, that's a nice quick way to go through the images instead of one by one.
And did you see there was a search at the top too?
I did not, but there it is. You're right. So if I was just looking for webs, there we go. Or fan, there'd be lots of those. X. Okay, cool. Lots of images. Oh, question of the week. Azure suggested is a place that has lots of images. Yes.
And then Queen Elizabeth as well.
Queen Elizabeth. Okay.
Is that Windsor 1?
Oh, I see. Oh, the images that used in the postings for question of the week. Very cool. Of course, they're images. What was I thinking? They just came out of thin air? I don't know. Oh, that makes sense. Very cool. Neat feature. Thanks for sharing that. Search on every field. Excellent. You can search on every field. Oh, the search searches for every field. So if I just search for source, I'll just get all the sources. Look at that.
That is very nice.
That's very nice. And if I knew I only wanted 600 by something, you could search, you use that for the dimensions. So, very cool. Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to stop for now.
Yes, because I don't have anything else that I could think about to talk about.
Yeah. Well, you know what? For the first week, you know, we're only 3 days into Hacktober, and I had done nothing for it. We actually had a fair bit of stuff to share and talk about. So, but I'm very excited about all the things that we can add and that people will be working on. And
and if anyone wants to join us next week,
yes,
let one of us know, because it's more fun with more people.
It's more fun with more people, and especially, you know, if we'd known and we could have had Eric or Jeff here, or Ian, but I know Ian's shy. But anyone, you know, who's worked on something, we would really love to have you here to help show off your work instead of you having to be painfully watching me poorly show off your work, struggling stuff. So, yeah, join us. Azure's also mentioned that the WikiTree Week and Symposium registration is open, so sign up for that. And one of the things that will be during WikiTree Week, we will have a live a live cast where we close up Hacktoberfest and we show off all the stuff we've done. And we're adding a second feature on the Saturday. So that'll happen on WikiTree Day, which is Tuesday, November the 5th, I think it is. It's WikiTree Day. Hezra will correct me if I've got the wrong date. I didn't look it up, so I'm just making it up. So Tuesday will be, I know that Tuesday is WikiTree Day, and we will have the live cast wrapping up Hacktoberfest. It is November 5th, good. And then on Saturday, we're going to have a live Zoom, where anyone's welcome to come in, and we'll have a live Q&A. So people who have actually played with all the new features we've made can actually have can join us on Zoom, and we can give live demos and answer questions specifically about using apps and anything that's not working, which would be a little more interactive than, talking behind the chat wall on YouTube stuff. Mm-hmm. So 2 things connected with Hacktoberfest during WikiTree week. So that's exciting and something to look forward to. But in the meantime, have a great day. Have a great Source-a-thon this weekend. And we will see you next week.
Yep. Bye.
Thanks, Jamie, for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for coming along as well. Ciao.